on, guys? My name is Brandon. Welcome to Audio Addiction. We have Grimm with us tonight, and he can say his name and what he does.
Hey guys, my name's Adam, and it's more like what don't I do in Grimm.
So my first question, Grimm, how did you start out writing music? Obviously, you're a solo project, so what made you think, oh, I want to do this as solo work, and as opposed to doing sort of a band thing?
Geez. So I was actually in a band before I started Grimm,
Okay.
and the band was really cool. It was like some of my best friends that just kind of got together, and we played a bunch of gigs in Philly. And I guess like the moment really hit when like my drummer, who is one of my best friends, he kind of still is to an extent. He wanted to do something else. He was always a singer, so he wanted to do singing rather than drumming, which is what he did.
Yeah.
So he was going to start his own band, and we kind of came to a crossroad as a band where we were like, do we continue like trying to become successful doing this that's not really going in too many places, or do you want to try to reinvent ourselves? I wanted to become more consistent, and they just didn't. And I just decided, well, let's see if I could do something with my own self. And from that, I got signed to a record label, and then and I try to do both, but it's really hard to do both.
Of course,
uh,
of course.
I would love for Grimm to have a full band, but it's just I'm gonna be very picky about it.
Of course, and I think like obviously with doing some solo work, like and you being a band, you can see kind of both sides of the fence in terms of like how things went with your band and how things went sololy. So do you feel like that you're getting different sorts of options by doing it solo as opposed to in a band?
Well, I can say it's a lot more expensive to do it solo.
Sure, of course, yeah.
Like being in the studio for one, when we were in a band, it was like you contribute, and oh, it's like a big family. When I'm alone, I get a lot more control, and I'm able to compose my music and really keen into what I want it to be.
Of course.
But it also comes with like ripping out my wallet and cutting it in half and donating it to my producer, which he did awesome. It's
That
just that's just the way it is.
No, of course, and I mean, I get both. I get both sides of the fence too, just because I do solo artists and I also do bands as well. So I can see how each side has some sorts of benefits, but at the same time, they also have some weaknesses too. But I'm glad that you're able to continue doing what you love to do, and following in a musical direction that you feel suits you the best. So. But my next question, Grimm, I know you live kind of local to me, but have you played any shows yet? And if so, what are some of favorite venues you like to play at or go see shows at?
What a great question, because I just had my first show, and it was a nightmare, like literally.
Oh, I'm
Uh,
sorry.
no, you know what? It wasn't even that the turn. Okay, so I had the places mixed up, and I thought it was going to be at the Voltage Lounge, but it wasn't. It was at the Rec Rack. So I told all these people to come to the Voltage Lounge, and they had some kind of hip hop club party, like some kind of club going on.
Oh man.
And yeah, so a bunch of people. And by the way, the first show that I did, because they said like, well, we don't know how much we can pay you right off the bat. So I said, okay, well, if you're not going to pay me, I don't want the people to come in to have to pay. And then they're like, okay, well, let's try to do it like an open mic then. And I'm like,
Yeah.
so I was given like the information to come in at a certain time, and this is my slot that I'm going to play at, and then awesome. So first off, I got the places mixed up, and a bunch of people went to the Voltage Lounge and paid a $10 cover charge to not see me, which I felt really bad. I offered to pay them back, but they said no. We drove to the to the correct place. When we came in, the guy that was standing there was not the guy that I was talked to on Facebook. So I was confused.
Oh man.
I asked him what the deal was, and he said, it's like, oh, you're here for the open mic? Okay, just sign your name. And I was like 13th. So I signed my name, and I'm like, hey, I have a time slot between like 8 and 8:30, and I already came in. It was literally like 8 o'clock on the dot. So I'm like, so am I going to play within like the next half hour? He's like, oh, well, you see the band that's on stage now? Yeah, they're not part of the open mic yet, so after they're done, we're going to start. So after waiting 2 hours, I would go to my friends who came out, and we're like, dude, you just want to go backstage, grab all of our equipment, and bounce? So we went back of the stage, grabbed all of our instruments. I think, like, as I was walking back, the guy must have known because he was like, hey, man, you're going to be up really soon. We're up to 7th, and, you're going to come.
Oh man.
Like, after 2.5 hours, I was just like, I'm tired, man. So we just grabbed our instruments from the backstage and kind of ran out and made a scene. So I went back to my friend's house and I did the set there with all my friends in his basement. So to answer
wow.
your question, I played a show
Technically, yes.
yeah,
Wow.
at the old basement.
That's oh man, that's brutal. That is definitely terrible. Hopefully
That's Grimm. It's
yeah,
literally
it's literally grim. Yes. Hopefully next time your show will go more definitely smoother and you'll be able to play in an actual venue.
I mean, I kind of liked how hectic it was. Like, there's nothing better than walking around with uncertainty in South Philly. We got like cheesesteaks. We went to like some Mexican cafe and ate Jello for like 2 hours.
Beautiful.
So, whatever.
It was a good day, regardless.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I would do it over again if I had. Yeah.
All right. Next question, Grimm. What are some of your musical influences?
Geez, the worst and the best. I don't, it's a really good question because I grew up listening to stuff like the Beatles and Green Day.
Of
By the way,
course.
I was Green Day, not Blink-182. I was the Green Day kid.
There you go. There you go.
I told my brother that I was Green Day. Like, I said that me and my friends had a secret project and we called it Green Day, and I had a CD unmarked, and that's where I was a liar. I was a bad liar. Stuff like Weezer, and now that I've kind of gotten a little bit older and I've sort of been fine-tuning, I like 21 Pilots, Eminem. I've been kind of like Lil Yachty, Post Malone, just kind of like expanding my music to the most broad possible so I can enjoy kind of everything at this point.
Just a variety of things, and I also feel like that plays well into how you sound. I was able to check out a few songs before we came on, and I just like the variety of it. It wasn't something where I was like, okay, this was cool. I still thought it was cool, but I wasn't like, okay, he's gonna sound like this. And I checked out another track, and I'm like, okay, that sounds a little bit different, but still kind of in the same vein. So,
Oh yeah, dude. Like most of my work, I'm just like, oh, this doesn't sound very good. So
no, it was good. It was definitely cool. So, I like the variety. I like the differentiation between the songs and just the whole album in general. But yeah, I would definitely say I got some 24 Pilots, some Lil Yachty, some Post Malone vibes from that as well. So.
oh, just wait for my new single. That's all I gotta say. Like, I'm so excited about this. It was the new. I don't want to know why I'm talking about this because I shouldn't. But okay, fine. You talked me into it. You very sneaky interviewer. My new single is actually something that I like to play on stage with the ukulele, and it's like like those douchey guys that have like the ukulele. They play like a love song, and it's always on the ukulele. So I wanted to write like the most nastiest hate song possible. And I'm like, if I'm gonna curse on a song, it's gonna be like the worst amount of anything. And it's called I fucking hate you. I don't know if you could censor me, but
You're fine.
okay. So that's what the new one's called, and it's on ukulele. But my single version is going to kind of be like a sort of like an emo, slower trap sound to it.
Okay.
So I definitely recommend seeing me live because when I do the ukulele, I want to be able to get to the point where I can just kind of like put on a bathing suit or something and just come out like looking like the biggest douche in the world.
Well, that is certainly interesting, Grimm.
My new single's gonna be different. It's gonna be cool, and of course it's gonna be grim. Grim as shit.
Of course,
yeah.
Of course. My next question, Grimm, to follow up influences. What have been some bands that you've been jamming more recently?
Oh shit. Well, I just got a new car, and I like to switch out my radios to like a Bluetooth one so I can use my phone.
Of course.
But now I can't, so I've been listening to 104.5 like a lot. Like I've been listening to the radio, and now I understand why cars have them because you really don't feel alone when you're driving alone. Like the first couple of days, I was like, I don't want to listen to the radio, so I just like was quiet.
You're just in silence.
It was and it was depressing. I literally felt depressed by driving my car. So now when I turn on the radio and someone's talking to me, I'm like, maybe like this is what life's about. So like I don't shit. What have I been listening to lately? I've been listening to like like Group Love, like
Really?
weird.
Okay.
Yeah, like take me to my brother. Like I don't know. I like his high notes.
Okay. Okay.
And I've also been listening to Die Antwood, the
Yes. Yeah.
Ansa.
Yeah. Yeah. They're really
Like
good too.
like mainstream pop stuff. Like nothing crazy. Like some punk rock and Die Antwood.
There you go. There you go. I like the variety. My next question, Grimm, is a fun one. If you could pick a song to cover in your set, what would it be?
Oh crap! I actually do a cover. I do a cover of "I Spy" by Kyle featuring Lil Yachty on the ukulele.
Oh, really? Okay. Okay.
Yeah, but I actually took out Lil Yachty's rap part just because I wanted to feature myself. So I didn't write a rap. It's actually a rap for a different song that's
Okay.
not real. But I used that rap instead, and I played it in my friend's basement show, and it got a really, really, really good reaction. So I can't wait to do that live.
So there you
Um,
go.
Besides for that, Black Sheep, like the song on Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why. I just really love that song, and I love kind of the instrument and how everything's arranged. I'd love to cover that once I get a band.
There you go.
Those notes. If
I'm
I
hol-
can, then fantastic.
I'm holding it to you, Grim. That's all I'm saying. Just holding it to you.
Wow, I
Uh,
legitimately tried to drink.
but you can. Or maybe you can. I don't know. Anyway,
I can't.
speaking about drinks, what is your favorite food to eat?
Food. What the? I was just eating some KFC. That's pretty dope. Some dope. Uh, I have a huge sweet tooth. I like candy. I don't know.
Okay.
Like, I actually went trick or treating. I'm 23, by the way. But when you're short, trick or treating's totally on the table. As long as you cover like all of this
There you
action
go.
and
Yeah, exactly.
tattoos and stuff. I went trick or treating and I literally have like a lot of candy still left over, but I've just been like munching on it. That and wine.
Okay. Okay.
It's like fusing like the old school and new school. So I drink like wine with like Hershey bars.
I was gonna say, what's your favorite candy? Because you said you're a sweet tooth. So.
Yeah, oh, dude, Hershey bars and like fucking sweet tarts. That
Really? Okay.
yeah, dude, those are like, oh man, there's nothing better than like 3 a.m. having like a big glass of wine with like some sweet tarts.
I can't say I've ever been in that position, but if I
I
ever
recommend
do,
it.
if I ever do get to that point, then
Oh, it
you
is
know.
yummers in your tummers. Just
There-
don't plan on taking a poop later because it's gonna feel weird.
Next question, Grim. If you could pick somebody to collaborate with, who would it be?
Post Malone, totally. I'd own that shit so bad. I know somebody who knows him.
Ooh, okay.
I'm just trying to get to the point now where I can muster up the balls to be like,
Yo, can you like?
you know, right? Like when you want to talk to someone who's like more famous than you,
Of
but you
course.
don't want to like.
You don't want to
Yeah,
look
no,
like it. You
like
don't want to. You don't want to look like a dick. You don't want to.
Right,
You know. Yeah.
and you don't want to just talk about music either because of course, like when people try to talk to me about my music, I'm just like, thanks, like that's all I do. So it's almost like you working constantly. Then people are like, hey man, so how's that work going on? It's just like it's good, it's fantastic. So like I want to be able to kind of get to him on a level where we can just kind of have a conversation, then be like, oh, would you like to do something
Yeah.
with work?
Maybe.
I'm not
maybe.
there yet.
Close. Well, maybe next time when we speak, we'll
Oh, that'd be so
you'll be on that level. Also, for me, like I've been just getting into Post Malone, and I think it's really cool because like he loves all that like old school stuff that we love, like
Right.
My Chemical Romance, like all that old shit, and that's super cool. Like for me, just as somebody who does that stuff, I'd love to interview Post Malone. That'd be dope. But
Have you ever seen him sing and stuff?
oh yeah, like I've seen him do like I think he did a Green Day cover, didn't he do Dookie? I'm pretty sure. And then he did like a Bob Dylan song, and I've seen him. He's
Right.
got a great voice. Like
Dude,
it's
he
kind
does.
it's kind of wild. So I'd love to hear him
I-
do a track where he just sings. Like he doesn't have to do that sort of like persona.
Right.
He can just do what he does.
I respect the hell out of any person who can like be on the game and kill it, but also have like a crazy amount of talent because I feel like that's somewhat lacking nowadays. And I mean, look at me, lacking. But like, I don't know, like I just respect the hell out of people who like really work for their shit, like 100%.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, definitely. I 100% agree with that, and I also feel like you work really hard on your shit, and I like that. I like the grind, so I'm all
Oh
about
man,
that.
2.5 hours waiting for an open mic, and then
That's what I'm saying.
then not doing it.
That's what I'm saying, man. You've got that respect, so you got my
Dude,
respect at least. So
that's the awesome part about music though, is that it really drives you to do shit that you would never do in real life.
of course,
Like if that happened in real life, I would honestly just like have a fit and like pick a crap on the floor and then leave it or something. Like I
uh,
wouldn't leave that unpunished. But
but you're like, I want to work for it, so I'm just gonna stand here and like wait for 2.5 hours until I get that
sure,
spot. So I,
just
I
get some Mexican Jello.
there you go. I respect the dedication and Mexican Jello. But my next question, Grim, if you could be a video game character, who would you be?
Hmm. Fun fact: I was never a gamer. Everyone thought that I would become one or that I
Okay.
was one.
Okay.
So they would rave to me about their games. They'd be like, "Hey, dude, like, what part of Halo did you get to?" I'm like, "I getting to the buying part." Like the only console I ever owned was a PlayStation 2, and that was because I took it from the family, and they bought like the next thing. I loved Mortal Kombat, but would you really want to be a Mortal Kombat character? I mean, yes, killing people's cool and being able to fight, but like it's kind of silly.
I feel you.
So I mean, I guess like a Mortal Kombat character, like just like the people who can like kick ass, but also like can like blow a bubble out of their ass and then like shoot it at people. I mean, like I guess that'd be kind of cool,
That's a
being
very
able to like tear.
that's just a very creative answer. I like the thought, and we're going for the drink again. I mean, you could totally be down
Yeah,
for
yeah, you saw that.
you could totally be down for the sip again if you want,
No,
But
this is like my other form. It's a mess. I didn't want to take out my glasses, so I just created a whole nother form.
there you go.
Well, here's the thing about my music. It's like there's an antagonist and a protagonist.
Gotcha.
And I'm playing. This is the bad guy sort of character, which has that, and then the good guy character that has the glasses. So I'm lazy. It's a fun way of saying that I'm lazy. I'm really lazy. I just
So
went for.
it's okay. I appreciate the theatrics. So,
Oh, thank you, man.
but my
I was
next.
gonna have like lights and shit, but I can't.
It's all
Yeah,
right. It's all right. It's okay. We got the face mask. I'm down with that. But my next.
you don't want to see without it. Sorry, guys.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it'll happen eventually.
One day.
Next question, Grim. I know that you do a lot of the music, all to yourself. But if you could play another musical instrument well, what would it be?
Ah, jeez. Violin.
Yeah.
I screwed around when I was in high school, like playing the violin. I played like the Saw theme song and stuff, and did
Oh,
some
sick.
scales, just by imagining it that it was a guitar and with the frets. So I just kind of played it by ear, but I was not able to like play it well.
Got you.
I could play a bunch of instruments. I've kind of lost count just because I'm able to do everything by ear. So like piano was not. I didn't have to teach myself. Oh my god. Sorry, I'm very popular this second. This very, very second. I hope. Okay, no, we're good. I think so. I think I would receive a text if something was very bad.
But
So
anyway,
violin or like a fucking tuba or something like crazy.
there you go. Two both ends of the spectrum. One that you could realistically put into your music, and the other one, I mean, I guess you could realistically put it into your music as well, but it would be
I
a
put
lot
it at the
harder.
end. Like at the end of every song, it's big.
Beautiful. I love it. Next question, Grim. In your opinion, who puts on a great live show?
Oh man, I saw Cage the Elephant with Muse like
Oh,
last
sick.
year. Muse was one of the best live shows I've ever seen in my whole life, and I wasn't expecting it either. I loved their Second Law album, which a lot of people didn't like, but I personally liked it. And oh my god, they had like a huge pyramid of like TVs come down, like TVs that are like on and stuff, and it's like it was mental, it was crazy. So like just like the theatrics were so crazy, like the use of lasers and the use of like storytelling with like videos and them playing live. It was honestly like one of the best shows I've ever been to, and I wasn't that much of a Muse fan. Now I am.
There you go. There you go. I'm kind of a little bit jealous because I've been a fan of Muse for a while. I didn't really like their newest record, so
Drones,
much.
yeah.
I think it's okay. I actually picked up two of my favorite CDs from them that are hanging over there in my CD collection. But Absolution, I think it's Absolution, and well, I can't forget. I forget the one with like the Earth in the middle. I think it's um, I can't remember the name. If I can remember it, I'll put it up. But those two records are probably my two favorite Muse records, and I'm glad I picked them up. But I've always been wanting to see them, and every time that I've gotten a chance to, I've had something come up or something like that. So definitely on my bucket list of bands to see. And by you saying that they put on a great performance, it only makes me want to see them more. So
I mean, I was with my singer, my old
okay,
singer,
okay,
and we had sort of like a slight difference, where his idea of a great live show is someone who can talk to the audience really well, and Muse didn't really do that because their theatrics was so big and
yeah.
grand and larger than life. It would almost like kind of not make sense to be like, and let me talk to you real quick. Which in that case, I would say that Green Day, I think, leads as far as being able to engage the audience and kind of control the audience the way he does. But to me, like a good show is when I go to a show and I literally come out being like, I want to follow this band like for forever. Like this
Yeah.
is like my new thing. Green Day's really cool with like commanding an audience, but I don't know, something about the Muse, something about the show, just kind of it was like a whole thing. I feel like it was worth the money that I paid for.
It was an experience as opposed to
Right.
like something that you can just engage in. Like I
Which is
also
cool too.
yeah, no, absolutely. I'm not discounting that at all. I think there's a lot of bands in this sort of scene of music that do that very well, and I also agree with that. But much to your same sort of thing, I agree with you. I love the experience of going to shows and
Right.
being able to see it and like remember in that way. And I just went to a show this last week. I went to go see Circus Survive and Thrice, and their show was like
Oh crap! I think maybe one of my friends was opening for that. Moral support, maybe.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think so. They didn't. I don't think they had any openers. It was just like a
Okay.
mega tour. But I saw them, and it's just kind of like more or less an experience of things to
Right.
see, and just like the lights and just how the band was like moving around. Obviously, they had some interaction, but it was mainly about like playing well
Right.
and seeing it that way. And for me, just as somebody who goes to a lot of shows, I love that just pure experience of like seeing all the lights, seeing them play really well together, and just the chemistry that they have on stage. I just felt like was a really cool like opportunity and stuff like that. But
Oh
next,
yeah.
what were you gonna say?
Sorry. As a correction, I am sure my buddies at Moral Support. Shout out to them. They did open up for Circus Survive. I don't know which show it was, but I do know that they did, and they wanted me to come. I just wasn't able to.
There you go. There you go. Next question, Grimm. Speaking about tours, if you could compile a dream tour, who'd be on it?
Um, I mean, I like to think as realistic as possible.
Of course.
So realistically, I think that the best complementary sounds for me would be a band named Civil Youth, which we both have the same producer.
Yep.
Name's Jeff McKinnon, and I think Civil Youth would complement my taste very nicely.
There you go.
I know a person named Call Me Charisma. His name's Riz. He's killing it in the game. He's almost like me if you were like to take like a really kind, broken-hearted emo kid and have like that version. We're almost like yin and yang. I'm like the dark version of this guy. So I think that I would put him on, and I don't know, something like 21 Pilots or Fall Out Boy to open. I don't know, to be the big payoff.
There you
I
go.
would open. That's my dream tour. Open.
That'd be cool though. I'm really good buddies with the Civil Youth guys too, so that
Oh, yeah.
would be a cool tour to see. There we go.
I see. Is this? I dropped it, but it's in December. I'm gonna see them.
I will probably see you at that show, so that's cool. Awesome. But anyway, go check out Civil Youth. But getting back to that tour, I would love to see that. I also like that you have somebody that kind of matches your style, and even if that tour didn't happen, I feel like you should do maybe like a yin and yang tour or some
Oh, yeah.
sort of naming convention where you have like you two co-headline. That'd be kind of cool. But There you go. Next question, Grimm. Favorite TV show, favorite movie, of course.
I've been getting really into Shameless a lot,
Ooh,
especially
okay.
now they have a new season. Dude, I'm a shame head, man. I'm a shame. I feel a lot to shame. Shameless is really cool because it makes my whole life feel more manageable, and I think that might have been like what they were going for because a lot of people I talk to are like, "Oh yeah, they make my family feel normal," but I literally watched them when my family was like falling apart, so it
Oh, wow.
actually made me feel like my family was fairly normal, which was a very nice feeling. You said favorite movie,
Correct. Yep.
dude. Taken was fantastic. I'm not a big fan of like action movies even. Like I like comedies, but I don't know. Taken just the idea of just like a guy who's like super trained to kick ass and then his daughter goes missing so he knows how to use those skills to get her back. I like every single Taken. I didn't matter. Like I just love the idea. And now I'm trying to watch The Foreigner, which I hear is like a Jackie Chan sort of version of it, sort of.
Yes. I think you're right, and I also want to see that movie. So I'm glad we can agree on something like that. I mean, we
We
agreed
should
on.
go. We should go together
There we go.
in both wearing these skull masks.
Beautiful. I
Please.
love it. I love it. Next question, Grimm. If you could only listen to one album for a month straight, what album would it be?
This is creep. This is weird. But I would choose All American Rejects When the World Comes Down. I think that's the
I think
album
you're
name.
right. Yeah.
Dude, I can listen to every one of those songs in succession and not get sick of them. The singer Tyson, I forgot his last name. He's so talented, and the songs are so nicely written, and there's just so much emotion behind it, and it's very broad as far as like the taste of music. Like I can go to like one song and it won't sound like the other in such a way that I guess I kind of feel with my music. It's very much in the same vein as each other, but I don't know. I can listen to every one of those songs without being sick of it. So I probably would choose that.
Interesting choice. I like it though. I like that. I like
Yeah.
that you thought about it in that way. That you know you're going to be listening to it a lot, so you wanted to pick something that you know you love listening to, and that is also
Oh, there was
its
a time.
uniqueness. So beautiful. My lastly, Grimm, tell them about your music, where they can find you at on social media, all that goodness, and anything else you'd like to talk about coming up in the next couple months.
Oh, geez. Well, I just released an EP, so that's cool. For anyone who doesn't know, you can catch it on everything. I did just become a Spotify verified artist, I think they call it. So it's Grimm, Grimm, with a period at the end for insurance reasons. You know what I'm talking about. I'm the one that has the blue check.
There you go.
It's called Spectrum. You can get me on Facebook. It's Grimm the Band on Facebook, on Instagram. Please do whatever or don't. Either way, I still make that on top. Yeah, I'd advise you to do it because I spent lots of money and I need some of the money to come back to me. In a couple months, I'm planning on making a new music video and a new single. New music video, I'm thinking about doing Telephobia, which is my leading track from the EP,
Awesome.
and a new single, and then I'm gonna follow it up with another single in February, I believe, and I can only pray at this point. And I'm gonna try to do shows, and anything that happens, any kind of show, it should be on Spotify, like the little notification thingies, and on my Facebook. Like anything that I do, it's gonna be on that.
There you go. Well, go follow Grimm, of course, on all social media platforms, because I feel like he's somebody that you need to know about and that you should go check out, because I'm all about supporting people, so I feel like you should go out, go give him a like, subscribe, do all that stuff.
I mean, what's the worst that can happen?
He's a hardworking
Just
guy.
unfollow me if you don't like it.
He's a hardworking guy. Give him some love. Go give him some support. And if you enjoyed this interview, make sure to subscribe. Make sure to hit that thumbs up. And I hope to see Grimm playing real soon so that I can get some video out to you guys, hopefully in the near future. Also, thank you to, I don't remember who suggested me to you, but I'm pretty sure it was Dave at some point or another. So thank you, Dave.
Crap. Well, shout out to Dave.
Dave's the boy. I love Dave.
Davester.
He's the best.
Dave. Dave Davidson.
Dave
Dave.
Davidson. Anyway, thank you guys for checking out this interview. Thank you, of course, to Grimm for coming on. We had a little
Thanks for having
issues earlier, but it's okay. We got that interview and we're all good. So definitely go check Grimm's stuff out. Links are in the description. And thank you guys for watching. We'll be talking with you soon. Peace.
Peace out, guys.
Hey guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Of course, if you enjoy what we do, make sure to go check out the other series we do. We do album reviews, we do band interviews, and we do live videos, so definitely go check that out. Hit that subscribe button. It really helps out our channel, helps us grow. Make sure to hit that like button as well. Go follow us on social media. That's all down below. We try to keep that as updated as possible. We also made a new website where we'll be posting photos of upcoming concerts and stuff like that, which you can go check out at audioaddictionmedia.com and come get your fix with us, guys. Talk to you later. Deuces.